Hi, this video is a short introduction into DNA. The nucleus of cells contains all of the genetic information for cells. The nucleus contains this information in chromosomes, and chromosomes consist of long strands of a substance called deoxyribonucleic acid, which is known as DNA. A short section of DNA is called a gene, and a chromosome may have several thousand genes in it. Each gene carries a code that determines their characteristics. The codes determine the activities that the cells undertake. Some genes determine what proteins to produce, and the type of protein that is produced leads to the development of certain features. We inherit these chromosomes from our parents. We get half of them from our mother and the other half from our father. But what does DNA actually look like? A DNA molecule is two strands of nucleotides coiled together to form a double helix. The double helix is also known as a polynucleotide. The two nucleotides are linked together through a series of paired bases. Each paired base contains a nitrogenous base, a sugar molecule, and a phosphate group. There are 4 different types of nitrogenous bases. These are adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. For simplicity, we shorten these to A, T, C, and G. Nucleotides with G are always opposed to nucleotides with C, and nucleotides with A are always opposed to nucleotides with T. An easy way to remember this rule is GCAT, whereby G and C are always paired together, and A and T are always paired together. These pairs are also known as complementary bases, so A and T are complementary bases, and so are C and G. A complementary base means that the base will only bind with the other and never any other bases. This is known as the base pairing rule. So let's have a closer look at nucleotides. Each nucleotide contains a nitrogenous base, a sugar molecule, and a phosphate group. The phosphates are always found on the outside, and these are the orange circles in the diagram. The phosphates are joined to the sugar molecule, and on the diagram these are the blue pentagons. Like with phosphates, there are 2, so there's 1 on each side. These sugar molecules are then joined to the nitrogenous bases. For the nitrogenous bases, we need to remember the pairing ruling, and the pairing ruling states that A and T are going to be pairs, and C and G are also going to be pairs. We can use GCAT to remember this. G and C are complementary bases, and A and T are complementary bases. To show that A and T and C and G are complementary bases, the nitrogenous bases have been drawn as jigsaw pieces, and we can see that T will only fit into A, and C will only fit into G. And you cannot pair the bases in any other combinations, for example T into C or T into G. So if we bring the diagram out a little bit more, we can see that the pairings are as followed. The top one is A and T, the second one is C and G, the third one is G and C, and the final one is T and A. You can see from the diagram that there's always going to be a phosphate and a sugar molecule on either side of the complementary bases, and the sugar molecule is the closest to the complementary base, and then on the outside of that is a phosphate. So that brings us to the end of this video. For more content, quizzes and past papers, go on to www.elevise.co.uk.